So the meeting's being recorded, as Zoom just told you. If you aren't comfortable being on, we're not going to publicize the URL to the video or anything, but we will be posting it just so you can refer back to it later. If you don't want to be on camera, totally fine. I know some people, it's kind of a safety concern for them and stuff. So we have closed captions enabled. We have live captions enabled. So there's a closed caption button down at the bottom of the screen, and if there's a Zoom controls, you can enable that if that's helpful to you. It's I say this every time, so Stacey's probably gonna roll her eyes, but it's not always accurate, but it can be very funny. What the captions say. Anyway, yeah, so this is our second orientation for the summer 2021 cohort for the Collab Lab. So just to make sure you're in the right place. Welcome everybody. So excited to have all you here and to get to know you a little bit and just explain a little bit about how the program works. I know it's, you apply kind of like, I don't know, it sounds good, but I'm not sure really what goes on there. But now you're here, we'll tell you all about it over the next hour. But first, we're gonna do some introductions. So I'm gonna go around, just give everybody a chance to say their name out loud, because it's important we pronounce your name correctly. Say your pronouns, where you are in the world, and then what team you're working on and in what capacity. So I'm Andrew Hedges. I go by he, him pronouns. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and I'm the founder of Collab Lab, but I also am mentoring TCL 30, which is one of our advanced projects this time around. So Stacie, you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Stacie. I'm co-founder of Collab Lab, and I'm also a code of conduct responder for a few of the teams here and for everybody. If anybody ever has any code of conduct concerns, I'm here for you. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a couple minutes. But I am, what is it? Oh, she, her, hers are my pronouns. Stacie, she, her, hers. I'm in Sacramento, California, and I'm not actively mentoring this cohort. So I'll pass it to Lauren.
Everyone, my name is Lauren Beatty. Hello. Let's see, my pronouns are she, her. I live just north of Minneapolis in Minnesota, and I'm mentoring with Andrew this time around on TCL 30. It's my first time doing the advanced project, so I'm super excited about that. A longtime mentor with Collab Lab. Yeah, I'm super happy to be here. Julia, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but
yeah, it's correct. My name is Julia. You can say Julia also, similar. I'm from Seattle and my pronouns are she, her. I'm on team 28. Yeah. Okay, Luis.
Hey there, my name is Louis, he, him, and I'm in Sacramento, and I will be mentoring the TCL 28 with Julia. And I will pass it on to Sandy.
Hi everyone, my name is Sandy. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm from New York City, and I'm also in TCL 28. And I'm passing it on to Abby, or is it Abby?
Yeah, Abby is right. My name is Abby. I live in Yorkshire in the UK. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them is also okay with me. And I'm a participant in TCL 29. And I will pass on to Chiamaka. Is that right? Have I said it right?
Yeah, Chiamaka. Hello, my name is Chiamaka. My pronouns she, her, hers. I'm in Nigeria. Location and then role. So I'm serving as the assistant mentor for TCL 29 this time around. So I'm passing it to Graham.
Well, hi, everybody. My name's Graham, like Teddy Grahams or graham crackers. My pronouns are he, him. And I'm currently located in Edmonton. And we're going to be actually heading off a little farther into the prairies in the near future, which is exciting and new as a West Coast boy. And I'm one of the new mentors for TCL 27. And I will then pass it off to Lyle, who...
lost you in like the last 5 seconds, but I think I got you. So hi, I'm Lyle, he, him. I'm also located in Portland. And I am going to be one of the mentors for TCL 27 along with Graham. And I was also a mentor for TCL 21 in the spring cohort. So I'm glad to be back. Nice to see you all. I did I get everyone? Megan, did we get you?
No, not yet.
Okay, cool.
Hi, I'm Megan Sullivan. She, her. I am based in the Bay Area in California. And I am going to be a mentor. This is my first time being a mentor for TCL 28.
Awesome. Wow, TCL 28 represent here, man.
Seriously.
Awesome. So good.
And we have like twice as many mentors as developers, but that's cool. Lauren, would you mind? Yeah, would you mind sharing your screen, please?
Before we jump into the actual
yeah.
orientation, I'm just going to give you a quick note about our code of conduct. At the Collab Lab, we're super dedicated to ensuring that we have a very psychologically safe, comfortable space for all of our Collabbies to grow in, whether those are our participants or our mentors, our Tech Talk speakers. Everybody needs to hold themselves accountable and hold each other accountable to upholding our code of conduct. So in order to maintain our code of conduct and ensure everything is running smoothly, we have a team of professionally trained code of conduct responders. I am one of them. Each of your team has their own code of conduct responder, which they reached out and introduced themselves in your channel maybe a week or so ago. So if you forgot, you can go back and look or just ask in your channel. But those code of conduct responders will be meeting with you about 2 weeks into the program, just to have a one-on-one. And that's just your space to talk about anything that you want to talk about. Talk about how the program's going, talk about things that were good, things that made you feel uncomfortable if there was anything. We are totally here for you. So if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns about the code of conduct, you can reach out to your code of conduct responder. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to all of us by emailing codeofconduct@thecollablab.codes. Whatever you need, we are here to make sure you have a great experience. So please keep us in the loop and let us know. We're here for you. Okay, that's my piece.
Cool. Thank you for that. Nice. So what is the Collab Lab? So the Collab Lab is technically, legally, it's a US-based nonprofit, 501c3 nonprofit. But what the Collab, why the Collab Lab exists is to help early career developers like yourselves get jobs. And the way we do that is help you gain experience on how software teams work. So this is something that I think is really hard to simulate if you're just studying on your own or even doing a group project through a boot camp or something. But basically, you're put on teams. You're going to be working on a project, the Smart Shopping List project for most of you over the course of 8 weeks, and you're going to be learning all the things that software teams do to make those things happen, kind of in the real world. So the actual product itself that you're building, the Smart Shopping List, it learns your habits over time. So as you make purchases, we record the dates of the purchases and that kind of thing, so that the app starts to learn, if you might buy eggs every other week, but you buy bread every week, right? So and then the app will learn which things to put at the top of your list as you add purchases to it. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of clever. You're all going to be building basically the same app from the same set of instructions. But what's really fun about this whole thing is that every app comes out a little bit different, and it really reflects the personality of the people on the team. So towards the end of the project, there'll be time for you to add styling and kind of add your personality to the app. And we can't wait to see what you build. It should be really fun. There is a video here of a walkthrough of TCL 6's. So it's been a while, but TCL 6's app. I encourage you all to watch that if you haven't already, just so you get an idea of what the end state is that you're trying to go for. What does the completed app look like? We have the project broken down into what we call user stories. They're all pretty small in scope, pretty small in terms of complexity, but you're going to build up all these little stories and end up at where this app is at the end. So so we are working remotely, so there's some stuff around that we'll talk about, how to do that effectively. But yeah, that's sort of what we're doing. So who you're working with, everyone here all the mentors are volunteers. You all are here voluntarily, so I assume you all applied. So, but it's what you are going to be working on a team, but what you've really done is joined a community of people who are all trying to help each other get established in tech and just kind of be successful as developers. So the community is, I don't know, a couple hundred people at this point. I mean, we have, I think with this group, we passed 100 developers who have taken part. We have, I think, north of 80 people who have volunteered their time as mentors and in other capacities to help the program. So there's a big group of people who can, if you have questions about job searching, or you, like, say you get your first job, but you're stuck on some problem and for some reason you just want some help with that. We have channels in Slack where you can kind of explore and just ask questions of people who have a bunch of experience in the field. So it really is a community. A lot of people stick around and kind of keep interacting with with the group even after their project is done, and you're welcome to do the same. So yeah, every quarter we start a new cohort. It's consists of several regionally based teams. That's very formal sounding, but so this time we have 3 North America teams who are doing the smart shopping list. We have a team in Europe and Africa. Chimaka is on that, going to be mentoring that team. So Europe and Africa time zones, people both in Europe and Africa working on that one. And we have one advanced project going on this time. We also, in other cohorts, past cohorts, we've had a Latin America team that operates in Spanish. So we hope to do that again in the fall. And we're starting to try to find mentors in Australasia, Oceania, which is Australia, New Zealand, and Pacific Islands, and in South Asia. So we maybe as soon as this fall have sort of teams running all over the world, which would be really exciting. So let's see. I feel like I should be staying on script a little bit more, but so you have 3 mentors who are assigned to your team who are there to support you and help you, and they have a certain role that they'll be playing, but they're also just there to make some connections with people who are in the field already, and they can answer all kinds of questions about what's it really like and all those kinds of things. So the reason that we do what we do is, coding is just one aspect of being a developer, and all the collaboration skills, how the teams work and all those things, that's a huge part of being an effective developer. So that's what we try to teach. And one of the core things that we do towards that is we really emphasize pair programming. So if you aren't familiar with that term, it basically means that you and one other person will get together and you'll solve the problems that are in front of you together. So we expect around 5 hours a week from you. Probably 2 or 3 of those hours should be spent synchronously working with your pair buddy for the week on actually, figuring out how to approach the problem, doing the coding, making sure it's all in good shape, getting a pull request together, which we'll describe later what that is. That should be done together in collaboration with your assigned pair buddy for the week. So we really think that's where, where a lot of the sort of magical learning happens, because you have a problem to solve and you could probably solve it on your own, but that other person brings a slightly different set of experiences and background to it. And so the 2 of you working together, you're going to learn from that person, they're going to learn from you. The way you solve the problem is probably going to be a little bit better and maybe even done faster because you're working together with somebody. So really throw yourself into pair programming. It's kind of a new concept. It can be uncomfortable at first, but it's a great way to kind of get work done. And it's something that a lot of software teams use in the real world as well. So there's no one right way to do that, but just kind of try it out, see what works for you. And then in a couple of weeks, we'll have a learning module about pair programming where we'll talk about, some of the ways that, professionals go about doing that. So, okay, I think that's it for me.
Nice. My turn. So we've done these orientations so many times that we forget what we're supposed to say. I think. I know I get in the middle of my section.
Did I go off script or something?
No. You're great, but I get in the middle of my section. I'm like, what am I talking about again? This is right. Okay, so just know that I am going to be throwing a ton of detailed information at you, but know that this document is available to you in each of your repositories. So right, I'm in TCL 28's repository right now. So this orientation document is available for you in your project. So please take time to look through this, read through it. These details are going to go really fast. I'm really sorry. Nice. So how does it all work? So the project that you'll find in your GitHub repository is organized as a set of user stories that you'll work together to complete throughout your 8 weeks here at Collab Lab. So here I am again, I'm in TCL 28. Usually when we land on a repo, right, we land on the code tab, but if you go to the projects tab, this is where you'll find your smart shopping list issues. Just click on that. And then, so here is the backlog of all of the different user stories that you'll complete throughout the 8 weeks. So a user story, and we'll do these in order throughout the 8 weeks. A user story has a description of what the functionality that you're working toward for the smart shopping list. And then it also has what we refer to as AC, or the acceptance criteria. And these are the goals. These are the things that you need to complete for that particular story to be considered complete or to be done. So every week, you and a partner will work together on one of these user stories. And that task or story is done when the following are all true. Those AC have been met, or those acceptance criteria. In the case, if it's a UI focused feature, if it's a front end focused feature, you'll want to review it for accessibility, and you can talk to your mentors about that. We also have a really great learning module that happens towards the end of the cohort on accessibility. The code to complete the task or implement the feature has first of all been reviewed by the opposite pair on your team. So code review is a really, really huge part of what we learn how to do at the Collab Lab. It's been so great for Collabies to learn that how to do pull requests and how to do code review. It's really great to know going into a software development team. And then, so first it's reviewed by the opposite pair of developers, and then it goes through another round of code review with the mentors. So the product owner, i.e. one of us mentors, has also accepted the work and reviewed it as satisfactorily meeting the AC. And so again, each week this team will split into 2 pairs. Each pair will be responsible for completing one story from the backlog. And then at the end of the 8 weeks, you'll have this amazing smart shopping list app. So for coordination and communication, right? So the Collab Lab, that's our name. We are not so much about how to write the best JavaScript in the world, but we're really about how to collaborate and work together effectively on a team, and particularly on remote teams, right? Because that's what we're practicing. So it's super helpful, number one, to document your work. So every week you'll have a thread in Slack that you will talk about your issue, and you'll communicate that information and document that in Slack. So one of the first things you and your pair buddies should do is each week is create what's called a draft PR, and we can link out to draft PR to talk about what that is for your work. This allows you to have a conversation about the work right alongside the code. So early in the week, you'll want to create a draft PR. It doesn't have to have any code or any functionality yet, but you can communicate with your partner and communicate with your mentors throughout the week about the work that you're doing. It's really helpful for if you're doing research on Firebase, for example, right? That you can put those links right in that pull request, in that draft PR. Excellent. So draft PR, number one. 2, Slack. So most of our team coordination and communication will happen through your Slack channel. Many of us have already used Slack, but if you're not super familiar, here's some handy tips for working in Slack. Number one, using threads is super powerful. Threads are great because they do 2 really helpful things. One, they help you organize both the question and the answer to that communication in one place. So Slack is great because you can search through Slack for something that you read 2 months ago, but often If it's not in a thread, it's really hard to find that information. So putting communication in threads is super, super useful. Speaking of notifications, it's a really great practice to tag people if you need to get their attention specifically. So for example, if I need someone to review my PR, I would at Stacie, right? I would say, hey, Stacie, could you review my PR? Rather than just saying, hey, can someone review my PR? It just gets someone's attention right away and lets that person know specifically that you're talking to them, right? So don't be afraid to at mention people. Yep. Oh, and know that we also have for your group. So for TCL 28, for example, since we have so many TCL 28 people here, we have group mentions. So there will be an at group TCL 28, which tags all of the developers on that team, and at group TCL 28 mentors that tags all of the mentors for TCL 28. So don't be afraid to at mention people. And then probably the best part of Slack is being able to use GIFs and emoji, right? Communicating via text loses a lot in terms of like emotion and intent because we're not able to express that with our faces and with our tone of voice. So being able to use emojis and GIFs really helps convey the sense and the intention of our communication, and it just makes Slack so much more fun. So really use Slacks and emojis liberally to help communicate the intention behind your communication. Excellent. All right, development process. So we'll go through sort of the nuts and bolts of what it'll look like when you're developing your feature for the week. So work will be done on feature branches in Git. So unlike when you were pushing your name, putting your name on the contributors list, we're just contributing right to the main branch. The work that we'll do going forward will be on feature branches. And we do have a naming convention for the feature branches. So the naming convention is initials of the first person, dash initials of your partner, dash short description of that user story for the week. So for example, if Stacie and Alejandro were working on a particular story to connect to Firestore, they could name their branch st-an-connect to Firestore. It's not super important that the description is perfect, right? But we just have this naming convention to make it simple and so you don't have to think about it so much. All right. During the first few weeks, in particular, during your weekly syncs, your mentors will help you go through that process of setting up a branch. So like Stacie would set up the branch on her machine. She would push it up to the remote. She'd push it up to GitHub, and then Alejandro would pull it down. So we'll help you walk through that process, especially the first couple of weeks. And we find that usually after those first couple of weeks, that process becomes just a little bit more natural. And then you'll be doing it on your own. Nice. So when you've been pair programming with your partner for a couple of hours during the week, and you feel like, okay, our code is ready to go. It meets all of the acceptance criteria. So you convert that draft PR that you submitted at the beginning of the week, you'll convert that to a full-fledged pull request, notify the other team in Slack. You can also tag in GitHub reviewers on your pull request directly, but it's also a really good idea to just mention them in Slack so that they can, so you can get their attention right away. Notify that other team that the PR is ready to review. That pair will review your PR and you'll incorporate feedback. Once the other pair has decided that your code is good to go, then there's another round of code review that happens with the mentors. Mentors will give feedback, you'll incorporate that feedback, and when it's approved by a mentor, you're ready to merge that PR into main. And then you can check your work on the production site and celebrate. Know that, so when does everything happen? I think one of the biggest challenges, one of the biggest learnings, I think, that happens during this cohort is that code review is a really super important part of the software development process. I know for my own work, I really think of code review as one of my top priorities because it helps unblock my teammates, right? I really like to jump on code review right away to help enable my team to keep moving forward. So just know that the code review process kind of takes longer than you might think. And especially because we have to do 2 rounds of code review, right? So the opposite pair reviews your code and then the mentors review your code. So what that means is you really want to think about front loading your work, your code work at the beginning of the week. So here is an example. I'm just going to look at this image. And so this is based on if your weekly sync is on a Sunday. Some of us are having weekly syncs on Saturday, so adjust accordingly. But really you want to think about doing your pair programming and researching toward the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I would say, I really recommend to my teams that they have their pull request up and ready to go by Wednesday, Thursday at the latest, but it's great to shoot for having that PR ready to go by Wednesday. So what happens a lot of times is that teams will have their weekly sync. You'll, at the end of those weekly syncs, you know which issue you'll be working on for the week and who your partner is for the week. A lot of those partners will decide right away, okay, let's make a schedule for when we're going to meet for the week. And that's a really good idea to do. So again, front loading that coding work at the beginning of the week. Code review is happening Wednesday-ish, Thursday-ish, Friday-ish. You're merging into production, shooting for Saturday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, depending on when your weekly sync is. And then you have your weekly sync on the weekend. So for those weekly syncs, right? This is really one of the most fun parts of Collab Lab is we get together every week with the whole team live and synchronously, and we get to demo our work for the week. So weekly syncs look the same. They're a little bit different depending if it's an even or an odd week. So it always starts with some demos and or demos of the week, the work that you've done throughout the past week. So you'll work with your partner to demo both, you'll both demo the functionality, like show the app that you've created so far, show the work that you've done, and you'll walk through the code. It's a great way to practice technical communication. So we really encourage you to rehearse, practice, and plan out those demos ahead of time. So you just really want it to be buttoned up. Know that we'll be recording all of the weekly syncs just like we are now. So you'll be able to point future employers to a polished demo that you did. So planning those demos out is really important. So again, we have demos on, let's see, our learning modules are on odd weeks. On odd weeks, the mentors will present a learning module, and the learning modules are centered on collaboration skills. So we have learning modules on pair programming, on how to do effective code review. We have learning module on accessibility, so the mentor will present that part. On even weeks, we'll have a retrospective. So we'll look back over the work that we've done the last 2 weeks, give appreciations to our teammates and our mentors, and talk about what's been working really well, like what parts of the work have gone well. And then we'll also reflect on what was getting in our way, what was standing in the way of progress, and create some action items going forward on how we can improve our processes or how we can improve our communication and collaboration going forward. And then finally, the very last part of a weekly sync will be that planning for the following week. We'll go through the issues that the pairs will work on for the coming week, and you'll get assigned. Know that also in your repository, there's a project brief, and it lists out who's paired for each week. So you can take a look at that in advance. Weekly syncs, I think. That's it. I think my part is done.
Good job. Wowza. That was a lot of information from Andrew and Lauren that is totally on point. And as Lauren mentioned, always here for you to refer back to, whether you look at this orientation doc in your repo or if you rewatch this recording because you wanted to see all of our faces again. It's all here for you. But I say it's all here for you. Chances are we're also actually missing a lot of information that we don't even know what we're missing. So if you notice that something would have been really helpful to know during orientation, please let us know so we can continue improving. There's so much to this. It's like starting a new job. So there are things that we're forgetting, and we need you to tell us if you recognize them so that we can make this even better for the next round of Collabbies. That being said, let's do a quick recap so that you can kind of wrap your head around high level what's happening here. So again, during your time at Collab Lab, you're going to be working on a software development team with other developers and mentors who work in the industry and have a lot of really great insight. This is working on a team. This isn't school. This isn't an internship. It's just working on a team. So think of it like that. Treat it like that. When you're in interviews, talk about it like that. I worked on a team of developers at the Collab Lab building an app. And when you're doing this work, try and think through like how these things would apply to your role as a developer when you get a job or when you're looking for a job, and snag those artifacts out of there, really great PRs that you write. Grab those and store them somewhere, save them in your portfolio so that you can point back to them. If, like Lauren mentioned, you have a really great demo that got recorded, pull that in your portfolio too. Those are great pieces to demonstrate to future employers that you can do the job. You've worked on a software development team, you've done demos. Anyway, that's what your time here will be like. You're going to spend 8 weeks building the Smart Shopping List app. Do watch the demo of what the final product looks like. I swear to you, it will be helpful. When you're working on your team, there will be 4 developers and 3 mentors. Each week, the 4 developers will break into 2 pairs of 2, and each pair will tackle one of the issues on your project board. So you will have a partner, and you and your partner will tackle one issue per week. We expect you to spend about 5 hours a week working on the project. So that's pairing live with your partner, that's doing code reviews, that's doing the weekly sync. And this is really important to keep in mind. One of our goals is breaking down the barriers to getting into tech. And one of those barriers we found is the time commitment associated with projects like these. So we thought 5 hours seemed like a really reasonable amount of time that would still be beneficial to helping you get the skills that you need. If you find that you're spending more than 5 hours, be really, really loud about that. You're not going to be in trouble. Be loud about it, because we want to either help you figure out time management a little bit better, or we want to refine our program. If it's genuinely for many people not fitting into that 5 hours, we want to make it fit. We want to make the changes. So be loud. Let us know. The only way we can improve is by knowing what's not working. So let us know. Let's see. And then at the end of your week, after you've paired with your partner, you've taken care of your issue, you've reviewed your fellow teammates' code, we'll all get together to learn together and demo our work and talk about how to be an even better team. So that is high level recap of what your time here will look like. But what is next? We kick off this weekend. So chances are you have a weekly sync, your first one ever, today or tomorrow. On that weekly sync, we'll do a learning module about the Git flow, because Git is something that can be really, really intimidating, even to more seasoned developers. So going over the basics of what you'll need at Collab Lab is going to be really helpful. And we'll make sure that you and your partner get your first issue that you're going to be working on and get your branches created and are ready to go, so that the very next thing you'll do after your weekly sync today will be schedule some pairing sessions with your partner where you'll get on Zoom and start working through the issues together. But your mentors are here for you. We're here for you. Your teammates are here for you. If you ever have a question about anything, post it publicly in Slack, be really loud and transparent, because chances are somebody else has that question too. So there are no bad questions. Ask them so that we can all learn and grow together. Anything else? What did I miss? Let's do this. Are you excited?
Yeah, how are people
scared?
feeling?
It's fair to be all of those things.
Yeah.
Excited, definitely.
Excited.
Good.
He's excited. Great. I love to hear it. Me too.
And it's totally natural to feel a little nervous at this point. You're going to be working with a new group, and we just threw a lot of information at you. But like I said in the chat, it'll like you do this for a week or two, and it'll be like, oh, okay, I get how it all fits together. You've paired with a couple people, you start to make some connections. Like, yeah, it'll be great. Just come in with an open mind and just believing that you can grow and get better, and you'll have a great experience. So.
I love that. One thing that Andrew always says too, that I don't know if it's been said in chat or not, but this is not school. This isn't school. You're not being graded. You're not like responsible for your homework only. You're a team. You're all here to support each other and work together. And as in real life, things happen. Like some people contribute a little more some weeks, some people can contribute a little less, because life happens. And our job is to all just work together to support each other and move the needle forward together.
Yeah, it's 2 months long. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the next 8 weeks, right? So, yeah, we definitely had people, you like people had weddings scheduled, or if people get sick, like all the normal things happen. So just act like a team, just be communicating with your team all the time, and we'll build a great app together. It'll be awesome.
I love it. Yeah, be loud. That communication is key in teamwork, and the more you can communicate in the open, the better. So when you have questions, when you're asking for help, try and do all of that in your public channel too, so that your team can be up to date on what's happening and where you're getting stuck, and they can learn the same things that you're learning.
Yep, all of that.
Does anybody have any questions? Comments, concerns? No? Okay, if you don't have them now, that's fine. You will at some point, and that's fine too. Ask them in Slack, we're here for you. Ask them in your weekly syncs. Be loud, and we'll do the thing. Good.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
So excited
yes,
for you. Excited to work with you. Stacie and I will be on your first weekly sync too, so we'll see you there. But yeah, all right. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Have a good rest of your day.
See you in your weekly syncs.
Bye.
Bye, friends.
Take care, everyone.